All right, welcome to another episode of the Pop Up with Black College Experience. It is Thursday, October 8th, and we have a really great show on this Thursday evening. I'm here in Atlanta, Georgia. My co-host is in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and today joining us, we have a special guest from none other than Tenn State University. We do have head football coach Roderick Reed.
What's going on, Coach Reed?
Good evening, guys. How y'all doing?
We're doing
fine. How are you?
I'm excellent. Looking forward to the show.
Yes, indeed.
Well, we first and foremost would say thank you for coming on. I think I've been meaning to do this for so long, and I didn't talk back and forth with you so many times, but we really do appreciate you taking the time out to have this conversation with us, seeing how so much is going on with COVID, and we're in a virtual world and everything that's going on. So, again, we do appreciate you for joining us and having this conversation with us, and just, sitting down and talk to us and telling us all about that great old Tenn State University. And I'm gonna have to give you some troubles there. So we'll start off here. I'm gonna start off here. I'm a Southern University Jaguar. Derek's a Mississippi Valley Delta Devil. I was looking forward to game number one because I talk so much noise. I have a nephew at Tenn State. So my nephew's a senior at Tenn State. And I said, we're going to beat y'all, right? We're going to beat y'all in the first game. He said, we're going to beat y'all. Corona said, neither one of y'all going to beat anybody. Ain't nobody playing the game. So we was hurt for game number one. We were
really looking forward to that. It was going to be a big event up there in Detroit, playing at Ford Field and being able to play in Detroit Classic. Something we had done years back. We played in the Coleman A. Young Classic against Southern up there, and I guess somebody probably revisited that game. But I thought it would have been a great matchup for both institutions. Financially, it would have boded well for both of us. But unfortunately, due to COVID, it did not happen. I know Coach Dawson Oldham's real well down there. We've been friends for a long time, and I know he would have had his team ready to play, and the Tigers definitely would have been ready to play and hyped up to play that game.
I was really excited, and then here come COVID. Go ahead, Derek.
Well, Keisha, your question, you like to start out with the recruitment, so I'm gonna let you have that.
All right, so I guess we'll start out with just what he said. So talk to us about, and that's always one of my main questions, how you go about recruiting. Like, what is your recruiting format like for those Tigers?
Well, we want to create the best environment imaginable for these young men when they come on recruiting visits. Obviously, we're in a metropolitan city. Nashville is one of the fastest growing cities in the United States of America. It's great skyline, the great things to do here in Nashville. I want to say there's 13 or 14 other colleges here in Nashville. Everybody think about Tennessee State and Vanderbilt, but, you have Aquinas, Belmont, Fisk, American Baptist College, Lipscomb, and I can go on and on with a few more, but it's a huge melting pot here in Nashville, great city. We have unbelievable facilities over at Tennessee State University. We were only one of 6 or 7 FCS schools in the country that has an indoor facility. We have 2 stadiums that we play in. We play a couple of games at William Jasper Hill Stadium on campus, and we also play in Nissan Stadium downtown. So we have a lot to offer. We bring kids in. We try to create a family atmosphere. Education is key. We want these young men to come in and get a quality education and be able to play top flight football and ultimately give them the opportunity to, fulfill their dreams of playing in the NFL if that's in the cards for them. And we've been really successful in that.
I don't think I knew it was that many schools there. My goodness. And honestly, I probably thought of Tennessee State, Fisk. I probably thought of like the main ones. I don't think Vanderbilt. I don't think I knew it was that many schools there. Like in that's a lot of schools in that same place. And that's a true melting pot. I don't think I realized it was that many. Go ahead, Derek.
All right, so I'm going to rewind a little bit now. You played at Tennessee State. You were a linebacker from 1985 to 1988. But I want to ask you, talk about your recruitment. What made you choose to go to Tennessee State? And discuss a few memorable moments from your career.
Well, I'll tell you what. my dad was a Tennessee State Tiger. Actually, my dad was John Merritt's first All-American here at Tennessee State University, the legendary Coach John Merritt. Yeah.
Oh, that's major. That's major right there. That's major right there.
And
that's major.
I had a recruiting process. I was recruited by, some schools in Texas and Louisiana and things of that nature. But, I always had a heart for Tennessee State. And, my dad didn't push me this way, but he gave me a little nudge. He played, actually. Craig Gilliam was the defensive coordinator at the time of my recruitment. Big John had passed away in '83. I came to Tennessee State in '84. So Coach Gilliam was recruiting me out of the Texas area. And, every time I got ready to go somewhere else, my dad, I would get a call from Coach Gilliam, ask what I was doing this weekend. My dad was kind of spying on me and giving out information on other schools that were recruiting me. So he kind of helped them out a little bit, but it was the best decision I ever made. I had a wonderful time here, a great career at Tennessee State University. And, I'm just excited to be here as the head football coach.
All right. So let's talk about your coaching journey. After you got done playing, what made you decide to go into coaching, and talk about some of your previous stops before being named the head coach at your alma mater?
Well, obviously, my dream was to be an NFL football player. That didn't pan out for me. Even as good a player as I was, I had a couple opportunities to get some tries. It just didn't pan out, and, I wanted to, stay involved in football. So I went back home to Texas and kind of fiddled around for about 6-7 months. And then I went down to Prairie View. They were just getting their program started back up. And, I was a graduate assistant down there, learned how to do a lot of good things and learned how not to do some things down there, because just coming off the death penalty, man, we had a lot of non-scholarship guys. You were going to play against guys like Steve McNair and Michael Strahan and, at Texas Southern and Alcorn at the time. And it wasn't a pretty sight. But, I spent a year down there, and then I went to Bethune-Cookman, where I was hired by Sylvester Collins, which was the offensive coordinator at Tennessee State. When I was playing here, he hired me as a linebackers coach there. And from there, I was there until I think 94, 95. Then I coached high school ball. They had a head coaching change there, and I coached high school ball for a year. And then I went home to East Texas Baptist University. My old high school coach was hired there as a Division III head coach, and he wanted me to come help him start a program. And the program was started from scratch. I think 2000. They started in 2000. We played our first games in 2003, and I was the linebacker coach going in, but I quickly rose to be the defensive coordinator there. And I want to say in 2000 rather, when I got there, we just started. And in 2003, I left to become the defensive coordinator at Tennessee State. But we actually built that program from scratch at East Texas. And the year that I left, they went to the semis in the D3 playoffs. And it was, we had some great players on that team at Division III level. And then I got an opportunity to come to Tennessee State in 2003. James Reese was a former teammate of mine. He was a head coach at the time. And he wanted me to come and try to help write the defense here at Tennessee State. And I was able to come in, and we, prior to taking the job, I looked at a lot of film and I saw the athletes that they had, because you're making a family decision, and, you got to move from Texas back to Nashville. So I looked at it and I said, man, I can work with these guys. I think it wasn't as much what they were doing, it was how they were doing it. And we were able to take, a team that didn't do so well the year before and had the best defense in the OVC the following year with some great players like Scott Cunningham, Deion Giddens, Brian Harris. Man, we had some guys that really did a good job and ended up, I think winning 7 or 8 games that season. And from there, I was coordinator for a couple of years here. Then they made a coaching change with James Reese and brought James Webster in. And Coach Webb kept me on board. I was the linebackers coach, and then I was promoted back to defensive coordinator. And upon Coach Webb's leaving, I was named head coach here at Tennessee State in 2010.
All right, Keisha.
Coach, you did a lot of stuff. That was a lot of stuff. That was a lot of transitioning.
It was a lot. It took a lot,
That-
it took a lot of, there were times, when you question, what you were doing, especially going up and down from a coordinator spot, changing head coaches and whatnot. But, I believe in, loyalty. I believe in doing your job to the best of your ability. And I think, most of the time in the situations that I was in, I just made myself inexpendable with the things that I brought to the table. And I think that's what a lot of these young coaches miss, is the fact that, everybody's always looking for that next job. And I always tell them, you do the job where you are and you do a great job at it, people find you. So I think that I've done that throughout my career. And I think, being a loyal person, a loyal coach, always supporting the head coach, no matter what the circumstance is, I think that's huge in becoming successful.
I'm gonna ask you one. This is just question that's kind of going left. But Coach, if you had a went pro, what team do you think you would have ended up with, or who would you want to end up playing for?
You know what? I don't know. We're from Texas, and we hate the Cowboys because my dad played for the Redskins. So everybody in my family are Cowboy fans except for us. We're Redskin fans. So we still. I'm just now getting a little cozied up to the Cowboys. I kind of like them a little bit, but I'm a diehard Redskin fan. It's been some rough years for us here.
You're a Washington football team fan now.
Yeah. You're right. Be politically correct. But
correct.
My dad played for the Washington Redskins, but they are the Washington football team now. So I'm still a fan. I check them. You don't see them very much right now on TV, but they'll be back. But I would have loved at that time. I would have loved to play with a team like the Philadelphia Eagles, the New York Giants. They always play, my style of defense or what I like to do. So, there was an opportunity there with the Giants that didn't work out. So, we definitely would have been one of those NFC East type teams.
All right. So
Coach, talk about the moment that you were named as the head coach at Tennessee State. What did that feel like?
Man, it was so surreal because it was, Coach Webster had resigned, and
Did you cry? Did you cry, Coach?
No, I didn't cry.
There's no crying in football.
I tell you what,
I will.
The saddest part about it was, my dad had passed away in 2009, and he didn't get an opportunity to see me become, the head coach at our alma mater. So, that kind of stung. That stuck in my craw a little bit. I wish he'd have been there to be able to witness that. He would have been so proud. But it was surreal because what truly happened was I was in Daytona, Orlando recruiting, and the head coaching search was going on. And I was recruiting the athletic director, Lynn Thompson. I was recruiting his son. He was a quarterback out of Seabreeze High School. So I was actually
is that Lynn Thompson that's in the MEAC?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's
so
what I thought.
Okay. I went to do a home visit with Lynn, his wife, and Matthew, which is his son. And during the home visit, I guess I impressed Lynn and his wife, because they had a head coaching position open at Bethune-Cookman. So this is a true story. I am in Daytona Beach, and I go in and do a home visit. And when I get back to my hotel that night, after doing a couple of home visits, Lynn called me and said, "Hey, I want you to interview for my job." And I said, "What are you talking about?" So I said, "Well, I got to do some more recruiting in Orlando." So he said, "Can you interview on Tuesday?" So I called my AD. I called Ms. Phillips, and I told her that I was offered the opportunity to interview for a head coaching job. And, even though I was in the running for the Tennessee State job, they hadn't made a decision on that job. So I had to go and buy a suit in Daytona. I had to get a maroon and gold, garnet and gold tie. I had to, I did all of it. I had to have my agent, Jason Belzer. We drafted up a proposal, and it was stuff that happened really, really fast. And I went to interview at Bethune-Cookman, and I think Brian Jenkins and myself were the two finalists for that job. And, so Lynn made a call back to Nashville and told them that they were seriously considering me for the Bethune job. And, I think, then I got a call from my AD and said, hey, you need to get home. We're going to interview you on this day. So within a week's time, I had 2 interviews and got a head coach job at Tennessee State.
Yes, indeed.
Wow.
Now, with this
Go
being
ahead.
your alma mater, we ask you this hard question here.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel the pressure, or how was the pressure to win when this is the school that you played at, and now finding out that your father was also a Tennessee State Tiger, and hoping that your son will become one also to submit that Reed legacy? What is the pressure like to win at your school?
You know that you only feel pressure when you're unprepared, or you don't know what you're doing. I think there's a lot of pride in what we do. There's a lot. I think I have 4 or 5 coaches that are Tennessee State alumni on my staff. And if you when you're unprepared, you feel a lot of pressure to do things. I think we prepare well every day here at Tennessee State University. Unfortunately, the last couple of years we've been marred by injuries. We played last year. We played 6 games without 17 starters last year, and that really hurt us. And we started out well, and man, we just had some unfortunate type injuries, but we're healthy this year. But I think we've done everything here that we set out to do, except for win an OVC championship. We were, I think, back in 2012, 2013, 2014, we were on a really good 3-year run, and we went to the playoffs, won a playoff game, hadn't done that in 30 years. And then we just kind of plateaued out a little bit. Now, with Dr. Mickey Allen, he's at the fold now as AD. I think, he's bringing some new ideas to the program. Teresa did a really good job, running the program and keeping us compliant with everything. But I think with his fundraising vision and bringing more resources to the program, we had lost some things over the last 3 or 4 years, like summer school, because of funding, and you have to have kids here in the summer in order to really be. And I think that's what attributed probably to some of the injuries and whatnot, just not training year round like most FCS and FBS programs do. But, we've Dr. Allen has been charged with getting us everything that we need in order to be successful. And he told me that he would do that. And he's done a tremendous job since he stepped foot on the campus. So we're excited about that. And I think that we're talented enough, if we can stay healthy, to make a run.
Yes, indeed. I mean, it's just that's unheard of. I didn't know that Tennessee State didn't have summer school.
I mean, it was something, man. You got to realize there were a lot of budget cuts across the board, and we lost the Southern Heritage Classic 2 years in a row. That's a big financial hit. And you got to make cuts and concessions somewhere. And, we try to do everything, first class here when we travel, to the way, we outfit our young men. So it's really a challenge, and it can be a challenge. And, one of my things is, being a fundraiser, head coach, you got to be a mentor. You got to wear a lot of hats at this level.
Exactly.
But we're definitely on the right path now. I think that, we'll have some of those things back in place. And I think that you'll see a huge difference in the product coming forward.
Now, since you just happened to mention the Southern Heritage Classic, a series that Tennessee State has been dominant in recent years, your opponent in that classic recently got a new flashy head coach. So talk about what do you think how that's going to impact the rivalry between Jackson State and Tennessee State.
Well, one thing I know about Dion, he know how to start a fight. He can talk trash with the best of them. I'm not a huge trash talker, but I know of Dion through his college roommate Herb Gaynor is a good friend of mine from Florida State. His son actually plays outside linebacker for Florida State right now. But, I've been around and heard some stories and all that good stuff. But, Dion he's very charismatic. I think that he'll bring a lot of energy to that program. But, the one upside we do have is Prime ain't going to be out there playing and covering and returning punts. So that is a positive for us, that he's not going to be out there on the field. But I think he'll do a tremendous job for that program. But again, when we go to Memphis, we don't see who's on the other sideline coaching. We want to deal with what's in between the stripes, and we want to handle business. And we treat that as a business trip. Fred Jones has done a tremendous job with the Southern Heritage Classic, and it's been a great financial boost for both institutions for many, many years. So, when we get to Memphis and, Coach Prime, as he likes to be called, is on another sideline, he better know that he's going to have an excellent group of coaches standing across from him. And, we Tigers don't back down from Tigers.
Amen. Can't wait to see that matchup. Keisha?
Correct me if I'm wrong, Coach. Tennessee State used to play. Did they play Alabama A&M for a while? No, that was John Merritt Classic. I'm thinking about John Merritt Classic.
Right. We used to play them. And those are some other things we've talked about, too. I've talked to Coach Maynard over at Alabama A&M. Coach Don Hill-Ely, Dr. Donald Hill-Ely at Alabama State. Those have always been good classic games for us. And, over the past, I want to say 5, 6, 7 years, we've been kind of sprinkling those teams in and out, more so Alabama State than Alabama A&M. But those are good games that are in great proximity that also put fans in the stands at that John Merritt Classic.
Listen, we used to head on down 65 because I'm from Huntsville. We used to head down 65 going to the John Merritt Classic, A&M and Tennessee. That was the game. And it was just like standing room only. That was the classic to go see when I was a little bit younger. But, Coach, discuss some of the legacies of Tennessee State football, the Black College National Championships, the multiple ones that Tennessee State has.
Yeah, I think there are 13 Black College National Championships. Us having the last one back in 2013, which was really, to me, it was a great honor because us playing in a majority conference, which is the Ohio Valley Conference, being able to win a Black College National Championship with, we played, I think, Jackson State, Florida A&M, and maybe Alabama State that season. But we were able to stay at the top of the rankings of the Black College poll throughout the year, playing in an FCS conference that's not an HBCU conference. So that was a really, really special deal for us there to be able to have that and to be able to do that. But I think I got a little off base there, but, that's where I went with it.
Oh, no, that's fine. And that's ironic because that's the last time Southern won a championship in 2013. So
right.
that's the one.
She ain't going to let that go. I'm not going to let that go. That Valley beat Southern.
But, I mean, there were so many more, there were so many more championship teams back in the 60s and 70s, Coach Merritt. Mm-hmm. It's hard to really talk about any other coach than Coach Merritt. He was at the helm for so long. And then L.C. Cole came in and did a really good job, in his short tenure here in, I think, 99 and 2000. They won the OVC back-to-back, which is he was the only coach that has been here that's won the OVC. That's the title that we're chasing right now. And then, he headed on to Alabama State, and I think from there. But, it's been man, you talk about the guys that have come through here when you start talking about Too Tall Jones, Richard Dent, Wayman Bryant, Anzi Eden, legends. Charles Buck Buchanan. We got so many. Dominique Rogers-Cromartie, everybody knows him, DRC, Anthony Levine, who's the co-captain of the Ravens right now. It's been so many guys that have come through here, man. Frank Pillow Jr., wide receiver, Quentin Crawford, Nashville guys that were Herman Hunter. I mean, I can go on and on. I mean, somebody may be listening and I may not call the name and they'll be pissed at me, but it's just, man. Hey, look,
Coach, you put names out there, Coach, I ain't heard of. So,
yeah, man.
You educate me.
All I really got to say is the boys. That's what we used to refer ourselves as the boys. So there were so many of the boys that came through and left a lasting legacy at Tennessee State University. But the Hall of Famers, Claude Humphrey and Richard Dent, are guys that that have that yellow jacket in the NFL. Mm-hmm. And Ed Too Tall Jones should have a yellow jacket. Don't know why he does not, but he should have one. And then, name Joe 747, Adams quarterback, Kenny Biggles, Gilbert Renfro. man, I can go on and on and on about the legacy of the players that are play. Anthony Pleasant has 2 Super Bowl rings with the New England Patriots. You know, Robert Porcher played 13 years with the Detroit Lions, but everybody knows that, you know, he went to South Carolina State, but his first 2 years were at Tennessee State with me. So there are a lot of people that have come through, and there's a legacy that I think is not matched by anybody.
Yes, indeed. So, Coach, speaking of legacy, what is it like to be the only HBCU in the OVC?
I mean, it's tough. You know, we have our ups and downs. We carry the torch for all HBCUs in the country, you know, with the conference that we play in. And, we have to play, in essence, 2 seasons. What's up, kid? That's my son. We have to play, in essence, 2 seasons. You know, you got to play. And it's really hard balancing it, man, because you go from way up here to play the Southern Heritage Classic, the John Mayer Classic, and then you got to come back and play a conference schedule. And the Southern Heritage Classic and the John Mayer Classic, that's like playing bowl games at the end of the season, except for it's flipped. So you got to get up to play those games, and then you got to come right back and start out, and you go play Jacksonville State, you know, Tennessee Martin, Southeast Missouri, Eastern Illinois. So it's tough, but, we've accepted the challenge. We still embrace our HBCU heritage with those games, but, you know, we're entrenched in the OVC, and that's our goal, is to win an OVC championship.
All right, Coach, before we get ready to let you out of here, I have a few more questions for you. Of course, you know, COVID-19 has impacted all of football, and I want to let Keisha ask this next question. Go ahead, Kels.
So I guess we'll say the schedule was released on yesterday. So we see what the spring schedule, the spring schedule has been released. How is your team preparing for the season, being that COVID has had an impact on what has gone on?
Well, there's been so many rules and restrictions on what you can and can't do. We, for the last, I want to say month or so, month and a half, has been a lot of conditioning. You know, we could do helmet practice, but you couldn't go against the offense. You couldn't hit anything but a bag. And then, you get out, and we're going to start up our spring ball here on October. It's really fall ball, but it's a spring ball module. We'll start Thursday, October 15th, and we'll work all the way through, I think, the 24th. We delayed some things. Sometimes, if we get some guys we had to do testing a couple of times, so you miss a couple of days here and there, and you want to make sure everybody comes back positive before you resume activities and stuff like that. So our guys, man, our athletic director and our administrative staff have done a tremendous job. We've probably tested our guys probably 7 or 8 times, maybe 9 times since they've been back. Fortunately, we have McHarry Medical College down the street, and we're able to get tested and get results in the 24 to 48-hour window. So it's been a little different, man. A lot of things have been remote. We've had a lot of Zoom meetings. We did a lot of installation on Zoom. So it's been a challenge, social distancing. The first 2 weeks on campus, everybody was quarantined. They were actually delivering meals to the dorms. We didn't see our guys other than on the computer screen. And, we still utilize the Zoom meetings. We came to realize that, technology can be your friend a little bit.
Absolutely.
So, we've done a lot of Zooms. We've kept in contact with our kids, team meetings, individual meetings, leadership council meetings, stuff like that. So it's been